his waffles. Maple syrup dripping from his fake rub. Who did he see when he heard who was there? Now it seems that he should.
All right, everybody, welcome out to the Log Room Guys Craft Beer Show. It is Tuesday, July 25th, Christmas in July, folks. Merry Christmas in July to all of you. With me, as always, is none other than Mr. Beer Samurai. Say hello, Mr. Samurai.
Meli Kaliki Maka.
Meli Kaliki Maka to you too, sir.
Yes. Oh my God, I used to work in a bookstore, and they the only Christmas tape that they had, this back in the day of cassettes.
Mm-hmm.
They the only one they had was the Bing Crosby one.
Okay.
So I have a distaste for Bing Crosby because of that, because that's all they ever played.
That's all they ever played, right? Yeah.
And one time had to be talked to by the manager because I went, Meli, if you don't change this tape, I'm going to Meli Kaliki fuck you up.
There you go.
So his solution to it was, then you make a tape.
And you make a tape. And did you?
Yeah, I got one of those 120 minute.
120 minutes, yeah, 60 minutes aside.
A TDK. No, it was a Memorex.
Okay.
It was Memorex, and
I was a TDK man.
Yeah, I usually went TDK, but I couldn't find a 120 TDK at the time.
Gotcha.
So I had to go Memorex.
Yeah, you know what? Thinking back, the odd thing to say, but I'm pretty sure I'm spot on. There seemed to be a hell of a lot more Memorex 120s than either TDK or Maxell or anything else.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Memorex also, I mean, they had money to spend because they had one of the best promotional campaigns.
Yeah.
Right? That the guy in the chair with that was Memorex, right?
That was it Memorex or was that Maxell?
Yeah, I think that was Memorex.
Yeah.
I don't know which one it was, but
it was one of the two of them.
Yes.
It was one of the M's.
One of the M's. It wasn't TDK.
It wasn't TDK.
Which was our tape of choice.
Right. Exactly. Well, hey, happy National Wine and Cheese Day to you too, sir.
Yeah, I've had cheese. Didn't have wine because I knew I'd be drinking beer.
I had cheese too, and I could have had wine. I did not because we're drinking more beer than we normally do.
Yes, we are.
For even a regular Christmas show. So
yeah, we've got a couple lunatics on that are probably going to push us to even go further. So yeah, we'll see. But we've got business to take care of before we bring them on.
We do. We have one thing to do.
We do have one thing to do. And we have mentioned this before. We'll mention it again. We are running our first ever Lager Room Guys contest.
Mm-hmm.
And this contest, so everyone is aware, I will be going to Ireland, flying out the night of the 7th, landing on the 8th. And the contest is to guess how many Guinnesses I will drink without going over.
Mm-hmm. And
for every show that we've done since this was announced, we've given a bit of some information that might help you in your guess.
Yep. Yes, we have every week. And if you're listening now or watching or whatever you're doing and you want to participate, you have until Friday night, 11:59 p.m. and 59 seconds before midnight on December 4th.
Yep.
December 4th. I'm in Christmas. I'm in
Christmas mode.
Christmas. I'm in Christmas.
August 4th.
But if you haven't gotten the other clues and you want to, we're not posting them. You actually have to
go back and watch
the show. And I mean, to be honest with you, all you have to do is scroll through to get the clue. But we want you to watch the show, though.
It's in the beginning of the show, so it's not that
easy.
hard.
Right, exactly.
Not a lot of time you need to spend, but you want.
Except for one of them, and we won't say which. One of them, we did it at the end of the show.
This is true. We did.
One of them, we did it at the end of the show.
That's true because we completely forgot the beginning of the show.
It wasn't intentional.
Nope. No. We didn't do that to make you listen to the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
We don't even like hearing our own selves speak half the time.
Yeah, I'm the only one of us that ever listens to any of these shows after we're done.
I listen to them.
No, he does. I'm kidding.
I like going back to the Italy one.
But we digress.
But we digress.
All right.
We're getting to them.
We're getting to them.
So this week's hint,
clue,
information. It's called information. Is I mentioned on the last show the Guinness Guru, and
not the Brew Guru.
We'll get to him soon.
We'll get to him soon too, right? Okay.
The Guinness Guru ranks Guinnesses, Guinness pours throughout the world, and he ranks the counties. And the number one county in Ireland for pour Guinness, I believe, is Killarney. County Kerry. Dublin is not high up there. Dublin County County Dublin. Sorry, I got it backwards. County Dublin, only because there's so many pubs that they drag down the average.
Right.
Though overall, your best pours you're going to find in Dublin. Let's just face it.
Of course.
So the information today is where I'll be staying. For 4 nights, I'll be staying in Killarney. We will be going to Killarney. We'll be doing the Ring of Kerry. We will be in Limerick. We will be in.
Will you be doing limericks while you're in Limerick?
You know what? There's really no decency laws.
There once was a Dave from New Jersey
who wants something too early. No,
we'll come up with it.
We'll get something. But at any rate, Dingle has a bunch of pubs that do a good pour. Killarney, 2 of the places there are right near the top of the list. We will be then moving on to Dublin, right? 3 nights in Dublin. On the way there, we'll be hitting Galway. We'll be hitting Galway for lunch, and we'll be wandering around, and I'll be popping into pubs.
Nice.
Can't do too many though, because then got to drive on to Dublin. And then 3 nights in Dublin, 1 whole day in Dublin. Awesome. So that is give you some information right there. But where we're staying in Killarney might bring your guest number down a little bit. I am about 150 yards from Killarney Distilling and Brewing.
There you go. So you got to take all this into consideration when you're coming up with that number.
Yep.
All right. Or you could just write a bunch of numbers and throw them in a hat and pick one out and go with that too. So
yeah, there's that as well.
There's that. So, all right. I want to drink some beer. What do you think?
I need to drink some beer.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
I need to drink some beer with a couple of lunatics.
Yeah, absolutely. These couple lunatics were the only 2 that we would do this Christmas in July show. Please welcome to the show none other than the Beer Whisperer and the Beer Guru.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
How are you guys doing?
You asked for lunatics. You got it.
You got
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Lunatic, I resemble that remark.
Exactly. We all do. So, what was funny too is, and Tom, I told you this. I haven't said anything to John. Doug said that when the brewery opens, he's going to make sure that he and the 2 of you come to the opening, and then the 5 of us are going to be there together. And I said, I think if the 5 of us are in the same place at the same time, the world will implode.
That's very possible.
It's
It's very possible. So.
Implode in a big frothy head.
The big frothy head, right? Exactly. So, but we'll cross that bridge. Anyway, how are you 2 gentlemen doing tonight on this Christmas in July with the Beer Whisperer and the Brew Guru?
If I was doing any better, I just couldn't stand myself.
There you go.
It's Christmas in July. What's better than that? Well,
But at least you're standing, Tom. Tom is on the mend,
Actually, but that's all right.
but he can stand, so that's a good thing.
I still like. I like Tom's. Always leave beer, never cookies. I like that. I like that.
Santa wants beer. And John, so Mr. Staradumsky, the brew guru. This is day 25 of Christmas in July for him.
Yes.
If you follow Honest Craft Beer Reviews or John on Facebook, you will see that he has had a Christmas beer every day this month.
Hold on. A Christmas beer every day.
At least a Christmas beer every day this month, right?
Exactly.
There you go. Yeah.
He's Christmas. He's Beer Claus. We'll call him Beer Claus.
He's Beer Claus. Absolutely. Yeah. He definitely. Tonight is going to be just a small excerpt of what he experiences every July. So
yeah.
Kudos to that. Kudos to him for that.
So we're living in his world tonight.
We're living in John's world tonight. So,
and what a world it is! What a wonderful world.
what a wonderful world it is.
I see skies. No, you don't want to hear me sing.
No.
But best way to get me to stop singing, you put a beer in my face.
Put a beer in, right? Exactly.
So let's crack open some beers.
Let's do it. All right. What do you? Tom? What are you having first?
Well,
Because I know what the 3 of us are having first.
I'm going to have the perennial. This is a holdover. I've got one left. Sierra Nevada Celebration. I'm going to start here, and then we're going to work out from there.
You're going to
Great place to start.
You're going to start hoppy. Nice. That's a bold move there.
I was indeed going to do that.
From here, it's all barrel-aged imperial stouts. That's all I got.
There you go.
It's going to be a fun.
You say that.
Oh,
as
yeah.
That thing.
So here you go. Here's the celebration. Here's the crawl for what Tom is drinking. There you go.
There we go.
Hint. That might be back.
Yeah, might. It's a
Just
Christmas show with John, and it might be back. That's a beautifully colored beer.
That is a beautiful beer. I love that beer. That is a beautiful beer. All right.
You know, I've hung on to these for more than a year in the past. And
hell yeah.
they're always fine.
Yeah.
You know,
They are. I
it's
actually.
It's going to change a little bit, but they're not going bad on you.
No, I've actually the oldest one I've ever had. You know, the year I had it, right, was actually 10 years, and it was still good. It wasn't what it is when it's fresh, obviously, but it was still good. It was still a good beer.
They do hold up well. Yeah,
they do. Yeah.
Yep.
So
which one of us you want to just all?
Let's all put them up at
reveal
the same time. Reveal at the same time.
Boom.
Oh, we got the Anchor. I don't have one. Oh man.
And John went a year older.
John went a year older. I have
in about 5 years.
I only have 2 21s left. I have 5 of these left, so I'm having one of these.
And I've got the 2021 our special ale glass.
Very nice.
Very nice.
To drink it in too. So
and there we go.
What's the oldest one you've got there, Mr. Guru?
I think 2015 is the oldest one that I have left. Sadly, I try and keep them, which is easier to do because when I was able to buy fresh every year, but unfortunately, that's not going to be a possibility.
No, we're going to discuss all of that.
That's my oldest right there.
What's that? 2013?
Yep.
Very nice.
That's the oldest one I've got. I'm going to put it down here very carefully. Wrap her back up.
And these beers really age well too.
Some of them don't taste all that great until they've got a couple of years on them.
Well, I'll tell you. There it is one more time. I'll tell you, I had so many of these. I kept them every year. I kept a certain amount of them. Always had it. In 2013, that year you have right there. Mm-hmm. All right. That year was the newest one I had. We did a vertical of 18 years. We started in 96. Oof. We went 96 to 2013. And I will be honest with you, of those 18 different our special ales that we had, 98 that year, when we drank them that year, 98 was the best. Not when it was new or not at some point of them. That in that vertical that day, 1998 was the best one we had.
Yeah, I bought a bottle, and this was maybe 3-4 years ago. I want to say it was during COVID. Okay. I bought a bottle off eBay. Was probably 84, and obviously I have no clue how whoever the individual that sold it stored it or whatever.
Sure.
But it was good. I drank the whole thing. It was tasty. It was spicy. I also bought some other bottles that were pure cardboard, and I had to dump too. But maybe this guy kept it refrigerated. But I'll tell you what, some of them do have staying power. The 2020, I drank a bottle of the 2020 earlier, and it was probably better than when I first bought it.
Oh yeah,
and drank it then. That doesn't have to get better, but that one did. That one I really enjoyed that night. So.
I had a 2020 last year. I have one of my 2020s that I've left. I have 2 2020s left too. I had one last Christmas, and it was fantastic. It was definitely better. I had one the year before too, right? I try to have one every year, but try and wind up keeping 2 or 1 at some point. Do a longer vertical. My vertical, anything that I had prior to, I won't get into it. Everybody knows if they haven't, they know where all of my stock went prior to 2016 or prior to 2017, really. But in any event, I do have one from 2016. I have one left from 2017, one from 2018, 2 from 19, 20, and 21, and then after this, I'll have 4 from 22. But I do have I have one bottle of 2016 left.
Wow. And it's a Magnum.
So I had to pull it out of the storage for this. I wanted to show you that, but
not for nothing.
Those are the score.
Yeah.
Not for nothing. I'm hoping that
I want to drink that. I want to drink that 10 years. I'm thinking a special occasion around 10 years. Yeah, something like that.
Well, I'm hoping that the 2022 does improve with age. This has got the spice to this is quite bitter. This has got to be the most bitter Merry Christmas beer that I think they brewed.
Yeah, if I recall, it was more bitter. It's mellowing out.
It's mellowing out.
It's
so
better than it was. Which is think about this. Well, I usually drink a bunch of these every Christmas. So I always buy 2 6-packs. This is number 2 out of the second six pack. So I only had we only consumed 7 of them, and I didn't have 2 of them. So I only had like 4 or 5 of them last year. Normally I buy a third 6-pack. So yeah, this one was a little bitter last year. This one was a little harsh. Yeah, but it's definitely a little mellower now.
It's like a cedar bark bitterness, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's certainly not. It's certainly not like overpowering to the point where I can't drink it, or I'm drinking a different beer. Right? It's still a beer, but it's still good. But yeah, this could use a little more, time.
You mean the herb?
Yeah, a little more THYME time, a little more time. Okay. Maybe some rosemary. Why not? Kidding. Anyway, yeah. So this is good. So anyway, let's talk about Anchor. Okay, Anchor.
Well, I've got 2 words for Anchor. Right. What's going on right now?
Yep. Exactly.
That's why I've got that up there.
Well, we don't have it for Anchor. We have it for Sapporo.
Yes, that is for Sapporo.
Okay, that's for Sapporo, right? Those of you that don't know, Anchor Brewing is close to not existing anymore. It's about 150-year-old brewery that isn't owned by its original ownership. Well, hasn't been owned by its original ownership in many years, but Fritz Maytag for the longest time owned it most recently. But in 2017, Sapporo of Japan bought Anchor Brewing as a way for them to get into the States and brew their beer so they can get into distro in the States without having to import their beer, ship their beer to the States. And it didn't work out as well as they wanted to. They wound up buying Stone 2 years ago, year and a half ago. And that's a much better bet for them. So they don't care about Anchor anymore. So they're just, let's close it. So it's all corporate. It's all bullshit. And
6 days will be their last day of operation.
Yep. Exactly.
Days.
So
a miracle, right?
Yeah, it's right. So
there's a miracle in the works.
There's a few things in the works. There's a few things. Well, Narragansett, and many of you know what almost happened in Narragansett back in the day. They were saved. They were pulled from the embers, and they're thriving now, and in a big way. And they started a petition to save Anchor Brewing, much like they were saved. There are a few venture capitalists that are looking to get into the craft beer game, if you will. None that have been in it that I've seen anyway, that have come across any of the blogs or news articles that I've read. But they're looking into doing that. But the biggest thing is that the Anchor employees themselves are trying to put together a plan to purchase the brewery from Sapporo themselves, and obviously they'll have to go get the backing. So they're, where that stands, I don't know. I read the article. John, what was that? I posted it on Honest Crypt Beer, probably like 4 days ago. Something like that, I think it was. Yeah. So I haven't heard anything on that yet, but that's a big thing, because that's people that love what they're doing. They love the brewery. They love the history. They love the beer they're brewing, and they want it to keep going. They want it to thrive. They want to get it out of this corporate, crap that it's, been under now. And, clearly they know more about it than we do, obviously, because they work with it and live it every day. So I'm hoping that in a big way that actually, something comes out. Even if there's a break, they cease operations briefly and then pick it back up again whenever. That would be great. But thoughts from all of you?
Yeah, certainly. If the employees are able to buy it, they're going to have to come up with some money. That's Sapporo paid $85 million for the brewery. I really don't think they paid $85 million with the intent to run it into the ground. I think they want to get something out of it. I think they'll take less than that, but it's still going to be quite a chunk of change. I think the city of San Francisco needs to help the employees in the state of California, because
I agree 100%.
There's history there. You don't want to lose that, right? give them some tax incentives, whatever you want to do. I don't know about, if Narragansett is going to be able to, Mark Hellendrum can raise that kind of money. As Douglas Smith has sagely pointed out, he didn't really save the Narragansett brewery. He bought the brand.
Right.
The brewery closed in 82, and I'm from Rhode Island where Narragansett was based. The brand was just, it eventually became just a label, and that's what he bought. No, and credit to him. He's built the brand, and I love it. Right. It's my old local.
It's nostalgia, right? It's
if he could do it, yeah, it is nostalgia. It's a regional. It was, it was the beer you drank in the 50s, 60s, 70s when my dad was drinking beer.
Hello, neighbor.
Hello, neighbor.
There you go.
Hi, neighbor.
Hi.
But I think so the Sapporo connection is, I think they made a lot of bad decisions. They didn't do a very good job managing the brand, but they certainly didn't. It's sad to hear that distribution died off in a lot of states. We've had it in Georgia since I've been here, so that's 20 years. I've never not had access to Anchor. I've had it in Rhode Island, going all the way back to 1982. When I would buy it, and it was a whopping $9 and change a 6-pack, which in 1982 was pretty expensive for a 6-pack of beer.
Now it's $11 or $12 a 6-pack.
Yeah. Actually, what I just scored when they first announced that they were pulling back distribution and ending the Christmas sale, I went and got some steam beer for $8.99.
Yes.
Which was
Dave and I, and kudos to Dave, he did it all. But Dave and I just scored steam beer and porter. And they were what? They were like $10, $11
$12 a 6-pack. I got 2 6-packs of porter sitting right there. Kerry went back to the store. We've got 2 more 6-packs of steam. So I've got 2.5 6-packs of Anchor Steam left.
There you go. And I have 1 and 1. So
I had some porter. I had our special ales. I've got some foghorns. I got
nice.
I've got a few bottles of that. I got the steam, which was I think brewed. Only maybe it was like 3 months old, and then I from halftime I mail ordered. They had Liberty Ale, and nobody else had Liberty Ale.
Yeah, I want to try and find some Liberty Ale, and I would love to find some Foghorn too, but I don't think that's going to happen.
No, so. I went to a bunch of places looking, and it made me think that if only we had bought Anchor this way while they were still going, they wouldn't be going out of business.
And we talked about this the other day. Dave and I talked about this the other day. What we did, there was nothing wrong with, because we were supporting local. We were drinking fresher beer, local beer, supporting the local guys, supporting the smaller breweries. So there's nothing inherently wrong with what we all were doing, but we still should have, hey, you know what? I still buy Sierra Nevada from time to time. I still buy this from time to time. And I did buy an Anchor here and there.
Yep.
But I should have bought more. I should have bought, I should have bought 2 Anchors here and there.
I think we
double my purchase,
And that's me included. I'm guilty of it because I love the beer so much. Certainly, Sapporo didn't ruin the beer, because the Anchor Steam I had was magnificent. That I just bought. The Liberty Ale was so hoppy and delicious. It's like, what was wrong? Why didn't I buy this? But I think the problem is we do support small brewers, but this is not a phenomenon unique to Anchor. Anchor's a special case for me because Anchor is a piece of history, right? Steam beer is a uniquely American style. You steam beer and pumpkin ale are probably the two. You can make a case for cream ale probably too, right? But steam beer and Anchor is the last brewery making it. They've been doing it since 1896. There's romance to the story because Fritz Maytag came in on a white horse and saved the brewery in the mid 60s. They almost went under then. Nobody else can call it steam beer. You can call it California Common, but Fritz has had the steam moniker trademarked for the longest time. But
unless you're a brewery in New Jersey that really doesn't care about lawsuits. Or trademarks.
Or
Lucas or any of those
trademarks. Any of the other things
they're not defending it as much.
Well, they called it both. They said they called it in the name it was steam beer, right? Yeah. And then the style was California Common.
Yeah, so that's how they got it.
I think the problem is it's not unique to Anchor, though. Again, they've got the history and all these reasons we would want to preserve them. But I think in our quest drinking local beer is great, but it's not always local beer we're drinking. We're going after the latest from Toppling Goliath or some other
Yep.
brewery that's out of, it comes into the state. What we're after is the new and shiny. And I think that in search of those 50 different hazy IPAs and sours and pastry stouts from the latest, fad brewery, we're losing local craft beer breweries too. Here in Georgia, we just had 4 close their doors. Atlanta Brewing Company, which is the oldest brewery in Georgia,
Really?
craft brewery, they're gone. Burnt Hickory just closed their doors.
Did they?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's sad.
Orpheus is gone. And who's the other one? There's another. Second Self. So, but these are all breweries that have been around for about at least 10 years.
Right.
Atlanta Brewery, and it seems to me that we stop once we have had beer from a certain brewery, we stop buying it. And now here in Georgia, everybody's chasing Wild Leap. They're after Stillfire. They're after Firemaker, and those breweries are going to have their day too, because somebody else is going to come along that's new, and they're going to move on to that one, and that one's going to be all the rage.
Mm-hmm.
I think in a way, it's tough as craft beer drinkers for us not to do that, because, I mean, if we were brand loyal and just drank one beer, then everybody would be drinking Budweiser now, and we would never have all these different great craft beers. But we always want something new and different and shiny and new. But we got to remember that, there's the old friends that have been around for a while.
The OGs, the ones that got us into craft beer drinking in the first place.
Yes, on the last show, we kind of put a challenge out to our listeners that there's certain breweries out there like Anchor, who are maybe not as historic, but are still some of the OGs that got us into craft beer. That think about it, think about what happened, learn a lesson from this, go out, buy something from Founders. Buy something from Sierra, buy something from Great Divide. These breweries that have been around for so long, one of my favorites.
Great Divide makes an old ale that's fantastic.
Yes, they do.
Fantastic.
And Yeti is
Yeti is
such a great beer. So we'll put that challenge out to the listeners again. Go out. These breweries that have been around for a while, Allagash. Allagash is probably not trouble whatsoever.
No. They're. You got to pay them some homage, and we do too. We've had Allagash on the show, but yeah, they're okay.
But there's so many of these. Like John and I talking, there are some breweries that really don't need our help because they're doing so well. Like Sierra, if you've been to their facility outside of Asheville,
if you've been to Mill River, it's Disneyland.
It is.
It's ridiculous.
It's amazing. It's probably one of the most, along with Omegang, one of the most beautiful breweries I've ever been to.
It's so gorgeous.
I just driving up the driveway, I could tell they have put a lot of money into it. Before I even saw the building, you could tell how much money was put into this place. Unbelievable.
I loved every second of that drive up the driveway, let alone every second of that I was in the building. I don't want to leave. We had a list of about 30 of the things that we were going to do that day. It got cut down to about 12 because I didn't want to leave there.
Yeah, I cut out 3 breweries and about 6 geocaches that day.
Well,
Now, the one thing is we're talking about Anchor and how, John's always been able to get it. Johnny and I have always been able to get it. Now, Tom, it's how long has it been since Anchor was in Missouri?
It's been at least 5 years, maybe longer. The last Anchor I had, John actually sent me. He sent me some our special ale in a nice glass a couple years back. But yeah, it's been 5 or 6 years since it's been available here in Missouri.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's sad.
And that's 5 or 6 years. That predates. Well, no.
That's right about Sapporo.
No, that's right about Sapporo. Yes, that's Sapporo. That's Sapporo cutting back. Yeah,
so that's one of the first cuts was Missouri.
But if they cut back distribution, that to me that just goes back to the point of people not buying the beer. If the beer's selling in a certain state,
why would they do that? Right?
They're not going to do it. Never had an interruption in Georgia. The Our Special Ale sold out every year. I had to.
Oh, same here.
Get there quickly to get.
If I ever did go back out to get, and most of the time I did go back out to get a third 6-pack, I had to get remember I bought the first 2 probably the first week in November, right? Maybe the second week. I had to get it before Thanksgiving if I was getting a third one, or I wasn't getting it because it was gone. So
Well, yeah, but here's the thing, and you guys all know this. With craft beer, shelf space is at a premium.
hell yeah.
So so we could say, well, the
I
beer
do
wasn't
know
selling,
something about that.
or we went out there buying it, but the truth is sales and marketing dropped the ball.
Yeah.
If sales and marketing were doing their job, the beer would have sold in those areas.
Yeah. No, there's something to be said about that too. Absolutely. Shelf space is at a premium, and COVID did not help that matter.
No, they made it worse.
COVID made it worse because everybody had beer and they canned everything and sent it to every state that wasn't getting it already, and there you go.
And created a can shortage.
Exactly.
And you guys said it earlier. I mean, craft beer drinkers are looking for what the next new and shiny thing is.
Sure.
I mean,
Sure.
John and I have talked about this ad nauseum at this point. I mean, craft beer drinkers are fickle as all hell. We're looking for something new, and this is what happens.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy. Yep. But you know what? I mean, let's cross our fingers that this particular instance of this happening or whatever, at this brand, this OG, this Goliath amongst OG craft breweries that has.
Did you say Goliath?
I said Goliath. I said it for you're welcome. Thank you. All right. This Goliath amongst breweries, craft breweries that have gotten us all of us, all four of us, and almost everybody listening right now, or re-listening or rewatching or whatever. Pay them homage. Buy the beer. Go buy the beer. And you don't have to go buy it every day. Still do what you're doing. Support your local. Trust me, I want you to support local breweries. Okay, all right, but support them too. Go out every now and then. Go buy a 6-pack or 2.
And that's all it takes. If everybody does it, then in the aggregate, these breweries will have a shot. I mean, when I was out looking for, after the announcement that Anchor was closing, I went back out again looking for more and couldn't find it anywhere. So that was exactly my intent. Dave is right on the money, and I got some Deschutes Mirror Pond.
Oh yes,
I haven't had that one in a long time.
Nice.
Yeah, I got a 6-pack of that. I got a 6-pack of Anderson Valley.
Wow.
Oatmeal Stout. There's another great California brewery.
Al Hornan.
There you go. The Hop Otten IPA. All of those.
Hop Otten. That's a good beer. Hop Otten. I love that beer.
And I got a 12-pack of Sierra Nevada. They've got a great mix pack. And for me, that Asheville brewery is a local brewery, right?
Yeah, you can get there quick. Yeah.
But they've got
twice I was there and you couldn't meet me. Twice.
Yeah.
In the last 4.5 months.
It's close, but it's still probably about a 3.5, 4
3.5 hours. Yeah, well, you were busy. I'm saying both weekends.
Yeah,
I was there. So.
Yeah.
But
yeah, we've got to support these breweries, and we've got to buy. And I buy from local. I had just actually, Burnt Hickory. Really sad to see them go under, because I buy their beer throughout the year, but I also, once a year I'd make a pub crawl. Mm-hmm. Not a lot once a year, but there's a lot of breweries in Georgia, so you can't.
Oh, yeah.
You can't and drink their beer at Taco Mac. That's
you can't hit everyone. I mean, I try to support as much local as I can, but I try to buy, and this is the truth. I'll have like you said, the toppling Goliath, or whatever's coming into Jersey. That's in on the level of toppling Goliath. Not your Anchor or anything like that, but that level, whatever. I'm not going to a package store and buying toppling Goliath. I'm not. I'll drink it on tap if I'm somewhere. That's fine, but I'm not buying that. When I'm if I'm buying any cans, I'm buying that are local, or local to anywhere, wherever I am. I was in Asheville, I bought cans in Asheville from local. I was in Nashville, bought there. Go up to New England, anywhere I go, I'm supporting local. I'm buying their beer. But home, if I'm buying beer in a package store, it's Anchor, Sierra Nevada, breweries such as that. I'm not,
Yeah, but every now and then you see something a little.
If there's something that there's something on the shelf, like you said, if Great Divide has, if the Old Ale's on the shelf, I'm buying 2 4-packs of that. Yeah, or 6-packs of that.
I'm going back to the new and shiny stuff, right? Where you see something show up on the shelf you've never seen before, right? Like Nightmare's making it into Jersey now.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You're going to say you're not going to pick up.
Yeah, no. I mean, well, see, but it's, to me, that's still local, right? Because it's not far away from us.
Nightmare's local. But, all of a sudden, Toppling Goliath releases bottles of SR71 to New Jersey.
Yeah,
you're not going to grab one.
Yeah, I might.
I know I'm going to, because that's one of my favorite beers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, there's certain exceptions, but for the most part,
But
it's
then
the
again,
other ones.
but
Right?
then you said something that'll interest you. Speaking of toppling Goliath, this is my second beer. This is Holly Dots.
Let's put the Holly Dots. There you go.
This is
there we go.
This is you would think this beer would be an abomination cranberry apple cinnamon lager.
And it is.
That's a lot. Actually, it's not, you know what? It has calmed down quite a bit since when I first drank it. It's not brewed by Abomination. It's a different brewery entirely. They make some good stuff. They make some good stuff, actually.
Abomination does. Yes, they do.
Abomination.
But this is you can't really get the color of it. It looks like it needs like a little umbrella in it.
Mhm.
Looks a little red. Yeah, you got a little ruby hue there going on.
Yeah, there's a pinkness to this because
Definitely
Well,
looks like
that's a
little
nice hued beer right there.
yeah, there's
nice
there's
glass too.
That's a good glass, isn't it?
I like the glass.
All right. Got to get both of you these glasses.
good, yeah, because everybody who appears on the program receives a free glass. No,
Really?
no.
If that was the case, I'd have a dozen.
Yeah, at least, yeah. As of tonight, you'd have a
I
dozen.
can
Yeah,
open
right.
a store, damn it.
Just send them a case to be done with it. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
This will tide you over until next week.
Talking about Anchor, I mean, Anchor would have been the first. Anchor Steam would have been the first beer I had that would have been considered a craft beer. Of course, we didn't use that term back in 1986,
No.
but yeah, Anchor would have been the first beer other than the macro that I had.
Sure.
Yeah, you're California born.
Yeah, you were out rooting for the Dodgers at that point. I mean, come on. You know?
I'm still rooting for the Dodgers.
Well, no, they're in-house rooting for the
I
Dodgers.
bleed Dodger blue.
In-house rooting for the
Yeah,
Dodgers.
Tom had the Anchor Steam when it was the first batch, right, Tom?
What's that?
You
Back
had
in
the first-
1896.
Yeah, you had the first batch of it.
1896. Yeah, there you go. Tom, you'll be happy to know, other than the fact that I do have a cap in that closet right there, I do have a Brooklyn Dodgers cap.
Do you really?
Okay, I have the blue cap with the B on it, right? Do have that, but I actually did just order the other day a Jackie Robinson jersey.
Oh, see, 42.
42, the old blue, the old royal blue with the white stitching. It's I had to get it. So
The answer to the question of life, the universe, and everything.
exactly.
Jackie Robinson.
42. Anyway, this is my second beer. Is if you didn't guess it, it's the one that I'm
Just finishing that
you're
out.
just
There we go.
finishing that right there.
I didn't know you liked that beer.
Oh, who didn't know I like that beer? Come on. And I want to show you something else too. When I was in Mill River, we were just talking about Mill River, I had to buy this. Now, I said I wouldn't wear it until Christmas this year when we do the Christmas, when I do our holiday show this coming December, whenever we do it, right? But I'm going to show it. I'm going to air it now. I'm going to show. I'm not wearing it. I'll wear it then. I'm going to show it now. Okay, I had to buy this.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
And it's
That's
a hoodie.
beautiful.
So there you
Cool.
Nice and warm for the holiday.
go. Exactly.
When I was trying to find beers, I just randomly started grabbing shit out of my fridge that I knew had been in the back of the fridge for a long time.
Right.
So I'm going to let you guys choose which one I drink here. I've got the Springfield Brewing Company Vanilla Zari Night. This is their barrel aged.
Oh, you love that one. You love that one.
Yeah.
You had that on the show. You had that on the show in the holiday last year.
Vanilla or chocolate and coffee? Which one you want me to drink?
Vanilla.
Yeah, drink the vanilla first,
Yeah, drink the
because
vanilla.
if you drink the chocolate and coffee first, you're gonna not taste the vanilla.
Screw the pooch with the vanilla. Yeah.
And I got the glass.
Very
I'm
nice.
not gonna be as good as John here. I don't have quite the John selection, but I'm good.
Glass match.
Nobody but John has the John selection. Okay.
No.
Okay.
Much to my wife.
I much to your wife's chagrin, much to my jealousy.
So I do want to show this though real quick. This is 2020.
Okay.
Very nice.
Very nice.
I don't know if you can read that or not. That's 2020 pack.
So you're gonna have to.
Very nice.
Beer Guru, are you Brew Brewer? Are you moving on, or are you still?
I'm almost done with my OSA, and then I will be grabbing the next one.
There you go.
Very soon.
Tell me that doesn't pour beautifully.
Oh, that is beautiful.
That is a pretty pour.
So this one comes in at 9%, I believe. Let me double check.
We're getting a beautiful reflection off that glass out your window.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
We can see it. There's a tree out there. And I was enjoying that. Put that back. You're not allowed to drink it now. I need to see the view you've got there.
So this one's just shy of 3 years old.
Nice.
It'd be 3 years Black Friday.
3 years on Black Friday. Nice. Very nice.
Damn.
And Black Friday is a great day, and Dave and I
In Jersey, it definitely is.
Dave and I are always with each other on Black Friday in the Atlantic Highlands.
In the Atlantic Highlands,
Ish.
getting some.
So they typically pop out their Zari night on Black Friday every
There
year.
you go. There you go.
They're various barrel-aged versions of.
So Carton Brewing has a tradition on Black Friday
Oh,
is
look
when
at
they.
John had a wardrobe change.
Nope.
But-
Well, the shirt underneath is "I believe in Santa Claus" for the.
Oh,
theme.
there you go.
Don't
There you
stop.
But
That's a journey shirt there.
it is.
It says, "Don't stop believing."
Don't stop believing it.
But for the viewers, the scarf is an anchor.
Anchor.
I got that
Yes.
reference, Dave, by golly.
There
You
you
know what
go.
I'm saying, but on Black Friday in Jersey, it's known at Carton Brewing that they release Epitome.
There you go.
If
And we
you
always
say-
do a live show from there too. Only about a 20-minute show, but we do a live show from there too. But I cannot confirm nor deny that there will be another black IPA from New Jersey released on Black Friday this year.
Ah,
I'm just going to leave it there.
that's a great
Competition.
style. That doesn't.
Just going to
get
leave it
played
there.
enough. Yeah.
Just going to leave it there. So,
Are you going to call it a black IPA and go with the whole?
I don't know what you're talking
Contradiction.
about. I'm not confirming or
India
denying
Dark
it, so
Ale.
I don't know what you're talking about.
India Black Ale. That's what it should be called.
India Cascadian Dark Ale.
I gotta say, so-
But if you don't use Cascade hops, how is that Cascade?
Who's to say we're not using Cascade? No.
So I got to tell a story real quick. So at the brewery I work at, we do he does this beer. They call
You can say the name, Tom. You can say the name.
So they call it Banter Brewing. So
Banter Brewing
So
in what
they call
city?
it-
What city?
It's got Springfield, Missouri.
Springfield, Missouri. There you go.
So Banter Brewing, Springfield, Missouri. He's got a beer called Foggy Prophet Dark Mist. So,
Okay.
but so we can our own, just 16-ounce cans, one at a time. But everybody else will write on the can, Foggy Prophet Dark Mist, Black IPA. But I always write India Dark Ale, and I'm the only one that does that. I always
India
write
Dark
India
Ale.
Dark Ale.
India Dark
India
Ale.
Dark Ale. And
I love
nobody
it.
corrects
That's
me.
great.
Nobody corrects me. Nobody tells me to do it different. India Dark Ale.
India Dark Ale. I love it. By the way, we had a comment in. Jessica, the lovely Jessica, it says, "Merry Christmas. Should I put up my Christmas village?"
Absolutely, you
Yes.
should. Right
By
now.
all means.
Right this very
Put it right up. Send a picture. We'll get it online.
Do it.
Yeah, do it. Just do it. Just like Nike. Just do it.
Just
Oh,
do it.
I was actually doing Emperor Palpatine, but
You were doing. You were doing. Do it.
do it.
Do it.
Oh yeah, I get it.
You know what Emperor Palpatine does to
the hustle.
to a bad cut of beef? What you do?
Do it. Let's do it. Do it. Good. Good.
You know where he does his shopping, right?
Where?
At the Darth Mall.
At the Darth Mall. There you go. I see what you did there.
So I've
So
got.
I do want to say the first time I had that beer is when Bruguru sent me one before we got it in my neck of the woods. Yeah, he sent me one a few years back.
That beer
A lot of
is
the beers I had for the first time were from him.
that the ABV on that beer I think is grossly understated.
Oh yeah.
They put it at what, 10%, right?
Yeah.
They
Oh,
put it at
that's-
10%. Oh no, that's more than 10%.
No, there's one time I had I was in a bar. I had 3 of them. And that number 3 figured prominently because when I tried to leave, there were 3 doors.
Right. Just
I
go to the
aimed-
middle one. Go to the middle one.
I aimed for the middle one.
Right, just go to the middle one.
And I was correct.
Right. Right.
I was so surprised I was correct. I fell on my face as I went through it.
Right.
Yeah, that is a grossly grossly understated ABV on that beer.
It's a
It is.
great beer. It
I
really
It's
holds up.
phenomenal beer.
I have an 09 and a 2010, one of each of that.
They age well,
yeah.
and then they barrel age it and call it dark ops, and it becomes a whole different level of loveliness.
Black Ops.
Black ops.
Black Ops.
Oh, dark ops is something else.
Dark Ops is a completely different. Yeah, I think Jenna Jameson was in that.
That's my.
So this one is a 2012, so it's got 10 years on it.
Nice.
And,
Oh, my God.
Damn.
it's fantastic. It's roasty. It's dark chocolatey. It's still got a nice bitter finish, and there's no oxidization. It's just really held up.
Really, that's a beautiful thing.
I always I think one year they came out in 4-packs. They reduced it to 4-packs. But it was back to 6-packs, and it's got a new label now. But
it does.
It's one of the beers that I do buy a 6-pack of every year, along with what the Anchor special ale.
So there's no licorice to it whatsoever, huh?
Am I getting licorice? I don't.
Because usually when you get an imperial stout aged for a while, and oxidization can show up as licorice if it's not pennies.
No,
I tend to pick up anise-like notes, but it can be interpreted as licorice.
Yeah, same.
Yep. I don't think I'm getting licorice.
No, well, that's great then.
Cherry even going along with
I
the
like
dark
the
chocolate.
licorice note. I like I get that when the anise-like notes. I get that when it's brand new.
Yeah, young. I like licorice in a young imperial stout.
I like that herbal note.
Yep.
Did she bring up one of her Christmas Village things, Tom? John?
No, she didn't. No, not yet. Excuse me 1 second. I'll be right back.
No, go ahead. I don't know if he had to fart or he actually had to go do something. he's just gone.
All right, man, you're the host. What should we talk about?
Well, we're still talking about John's beer. It is that beer. Listen, that beer. I brought a Black Ops to a football game once. The guy was from Oregon, and he was really into craft beer. You thought he would think he could drink. He had season tickets. He had his father-in-law's season tickets to a Giants game, and we went, and we shared a bottle of Black Ops. I've never seen someone so wrecked.
Wow.
I had to ask him to sit down quite a few times and be quiet during the game because he was getting quite obnoxious.
I'm back. Sorry about that.
You all good?
Yeah, it's just technical difficulties. Had to attend to something.
I see. I don't want to know.
No. It was nothing.
This isn't one of those soupy sales things.
Oh no.
Okay.
No.
Tom knows what I'm talking about.
Not at all.
We're old.
Oh no, yeah, that's the problem. Exactly. Where is it though?
No,
we're wiser than a lot.
Did he got fired for that?
He got fired big time for that.
Oh yeah.
We're not going to mention it. If you want to know, look up why did Soupy Sales get fired.
Let's get fired. That's what you need to do.
Yeah. And you'll find a video.
Exactly.
And it's a video from another camera that did not actually show up on television, but he got fired for it anyway.
Right. Exactly. Yes, he did. So.
Hey, I don't care what they say. I think the man was a visionary.
I agree. That was a great show, though. I love the Super Sales show. That was a great show.
It was hilarious.
All right. I got a couple questions. All right.
Fire away.
I'm going to start with John. What's that you can remember? What's the first Christmas or holiday beer you can remember ever having? Was it Anchor Christmas or was it something else?
No, Anchor Christmas Ale I didn't get to try. I had always wanted to try it, but I didn't get it until it was in 91. And I had it I think I picked it up in January of 92 in Waltham, Massachusetts. I've never missed it since then. I've had every vintage since then and a few others, but that's a good question. Around 86, Samuel Adams Winter Lager was out. And I had that. I remember when it first came out, it wasn't like it wasn't spiced like it is now. It was just a Weizenbock lager. It
was a lager, yeah.
Yeah, and it was a pretty good one.
Mm-hmm.
And right about the same time, Harpoon Winter Warmer came out. And that of the two, that would be that's one of my favorite Christmas brews of all time. So that's right up there. And then again, right around that same time, maybe a year or so, was Würzburger Weihnachtsbier, which I used to drive to Massachusetts and buy by the case. It was a Doppelbock.
Yep.
And Doppelbock is my favorite style.
Absolutely.
So I think those are the three earliest
Doppelbocks
that I recall. Oh,
gotcha.
Great style.
Awesome.
I've had some good Doppelbocks.
That's great. Tom, yours?
I'm trying to remember, and I think it was. So I grew up in Southern California, but I moved to Western Washington, and in '87, and Red Hook was very popular up there, and I think
Sure.
it was the Winter Hook.
Winter Hook, yeah, that was a good beer.
Yep.
Winter Hook was a good
I
beer.
think it was '88 or '89. I had the Winter Hook. Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. Samurai?
80s are a little fuzzy. I mean, I don't know.
80s. I know. Hey, 80s are fuzzy for a couple of reasons for the four of us. Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right. So,
Harpoon.
Harpoon Winter Warmer.
Yeah, that was first for me. Harpoon Winter Warmer, and I suspected that would be the same answer for you, considering our first IPAs are the same thing.
Are the same thing. Harpoon IPA, right? Yeah.
They had really good distribution back in the day.
They did. Yeah, Harpoon Winter Warmer was my first.
But my second was Sam Smith's Winter Warmer.
Sam Smith's Winter Welcome.
Winter Welcome.
Yeah.
Love that beer.
Yeah, but by far that was definitely my second. But yeah, Winter Warmer, Harpoon Winter Warmer was my first. And I told you, John, the Winter Warmer glass you found on eBay.
Yeah, that was.
Since you found it, I've been looking, and still, like literally at least once a week, if not more often, I just put it in a search on eBay, just looking for it. Because the second it pops up, unless they want $3,000 for the thing, I'm ordering it. Done,
it has taken forever, and I actually found it once before I finally got this one that I have. And of course, I just bid. I don't. He had to buy it now. Boom! I did the buy it now.
Done. Yeah, done.
And I'm like, great.
I don't bid on anything. If it's just bidding, no buy it now. I don't know about it.
But this I wanted so bad, and it was. I've been trying to find it for so long, and then I get this horrible email, and it says, "I can't ship you the glass. It broke while I was packing it."
Oh
like,
no!
Right, and so, and I had to wait a few more years, and then finally I saw it again, and then this time, luckily, I got that glass. But I don't think they made a lot of them. I almost never see them on eBay. So,
how long ago? When did you get it? You got it last year, right? You got it before the season last year. Literally, and I'm not kidding. At least once a week, if not more often, I've been searching for it, and I haven't seen one.
Yeah.
So
the Winter Warmer glass.
The Winter Warmer glass. The Harpoon Winter Warmer glass. Yeah. Doug Smith commented in. He said, "John, Hope Brewing's Christmas Ale. Tim Morse of Anchor was Hope's first brewmaster."
Yep. That was a little bit later, I think, than the Harpoon Winter Warmer, but he's right. That's another great one. That was a red ale. It wasn't spiced. But I remember drinking my first bottle at Koenig City in Dave All Square in Providence, where they flew in kegs of Koenig Pilsner from Germany, and they had this great German food. But that's probably close to that time frame. And then a little later, Catamount Christmas Ale 2 was another one that was an IPA. It was
that one.
It was a super hoppy IPA for the time. It was
nice.
That's why I wasn't all that fond of it to begin with, because it was hoppier than
way hoppy, really hoppy.
Yeah.
It was phenomenal, but it wasn't it wasn't like the Harpoon Winter Warmer with the spicing and all that. So it was
different. It was different.
Good. But he's right about it. And the Hope had the Anchor connection too. That's right. Timothy Morse came from Anchor, and Hope never built a brewery, but they bought equipment from Molson, put it in storage, and then never built their own brewery.
They never built their own brewery. Right?
They contracted at the Lion. So,
everybody, say hi to Tommy with me. Hi, Tommy.
Hey, Tommy.
Hi, Tommy. There you go.
Tommy.
There you go. All right. Not that Tom. Another Tommy.
I was gonna say who?
I talk to myself from time to time.
No, I just got a text that Tommy is watching, so we said hi, Tommy.
Hi, Tommy.
Hi, Tommy. So, all right. What are some? We've been talking about these. What are some warm, and I use that tongue in cheek, warm memories of holiday beers of the past? And we've obviously started that with Doug Smith writing in about Hope Brewing's Christmas Ale and all. But any others? Dave, you start. Or anybody that has one that can start, you start. There you go.
I really think that the beers that I brought up, those were the ones every year.
Yeah.
Now this is going back like the college days, where I'd go up to. You got to remember, back when I was in college, you didn't have a lot of
seasonals
beer stores.
Seasonals. Here's the thing. Here's the hard thing, right? Seasonals in general really weren't a thing until at least the 80s, and even then they were scarce, right? The first seasonal period was Anchor Christmas.
Yeah,
that was the first seasonal beer ever. in the United States anyway, in the U.S. craft beer market. But in any event, the so when you're talking about seasonals, when you're talking about holiday beers or fall beers or anything, it's not going. There's not going to be too many variations from one person's discussion to another because there were many. So there were. It
was even worse than that. There weren't many stores selling them.
Right. That too.
Right. I would have to go to this one store in Bricktown. This one store in North Halden. This one store in Clifton.
Which store?
I forget what the store was in Clifton, but these were the only three where I could find the beers I was looking for: the Harpoon Winter Warmer, the Anchor Christmas. Finding Sam Smith's Winter Welcome was actually easier than finding those two because Sam Smith's was more of it was considered just an import.
Yeah.
Right. It wasn't considered seasonal. It was an import. It's just what.
Yeah. I mean, it was a seasonal, but it wasn't.
But think about that.
Right.
A seasonal beer from England was easier to find
than a seasonal beer from the United States. Absolutely.
Yeah. And it was crazy. And then you had some other things come out. God, I wish I could remember some of the other things that came out because half of them are gone now. Right. But there was always things I was looking for. You'd always pick up something new. And maybe John, that's what you were talking about earlier. The new and shiny is back in our day. If you saw something new, that was great because it was rare that something new came out. So we all got used to this. It's the whole thing that it's my whole theory behind, many guys our age have like an online gaming addiction. Why? Because we don't have to put quarters in for a change.
Right.
We don't have to beg our parents for a quarter. We can sit at our desk and play continuously.
Yes, but on that note, if I go to Barcade, I don't leave.
No, of course not.
Because there's still
that nostalgia for it.
But it's just a quarter. It was a quarter.
It's still just a quarter
in 1981 is clearly a lot different than a quarter today. Right.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, give me my beer. Keep my beer coming. I'm parking myself in front of Donkey Kong or Frogger or Qbert or Missile Command or any of those. And
but my whole point is, a lot of us will game forever online because when you ran out of quarters as a kid, you were done.
That was you were. I'm going home.
Yeah. So back
you hung around a little while. Yeah. You like went from friend to friend and watched what they were doing. I'm like, I got to get out of here.
You got to figure out how, watch the guy playing Dragon Slayer to see how to beat the thing. I could beat the thing, by the way. Just
unless you were like me. My dad owned a video store in the 80s. This guy would come in that owned a video arcade, and I would comp him his movie rentals. And every time I went to the arcade, he'd hand me a pile of tokens to go play games all day.
Nice, very nice.
A hookup, right? You
that's
and where in Rhode Island was this? Because I will get in my DeLorean later and go back. And
it was West Warwick, Rhode Island. Yeah.
There you go.
Well, just to screw with Dave's demographic a little bit, I do no online gaming at all. None.
Oh, I don't anymore.
I've never done any.
I won't do it anymore because I know that I won't stop.
See, for me, games suck ever since Donkey Kong. I don't like those new graphics. I don't like killing people. I don't play anything.
I want
Donkey Kong.
I want the 8-bit graphics. Okay.
I don't want the graphics. I want to play Pac-Man. I want to play Donkey Kong. I want to play Frogger. I want to play Space Invaders. God damn it!
We have completely gone way off.
Derailed
the point I was trying.
Not so much because this is a Christmas in July. So Christmas, we all got video games when we were kids.
Right.
I had a VIC 20 for Christmas one year.
I got you beat. I got the Commodore 64.
But the VIC 20 was the precursor. To the
yes, it was. So there you go.
The Sears Video Arcade. Yeah,
Sears Video Arcade. There you go. Hey, many a Saturday afternoon, I played Pong on the living room floor with my father. Right?
Well, what about the Trash 80? TRS 80.
Trash 80. There you go.
That turned into the Coco.
Yes, it did.
The Coleco baseball.
TRS was Tandy Radio Shack.
Tandy Radio Shack. There you go.
What it stood for.
There you go.
Oh, and then you had the Texas Instruments machines that were out as well. There was so much going on back in the day.
Absolutely.
But the point I was making.
But the point. But we digress.
My bad. I'm sorry, Dave.
But the point I was making was that because it was so hard for us back then to find something new, that now we are all into that. Oh, here's something new. Here's something new and shiny. And I think that's kind of where, that's where our generation is kind of getting it from. But we're also, on the other hand, going back to the old styles. But it's still new and shiny to us. It's new. It's newly new and shiny to us.
Right.
We're seeing like, oh my God, this brewery just put out a dark mild. I've got to get that.
Yep.
So it's still that newness to it, even though it's old. It's oldly new or newly old. I don't know where I'm going with that. But we still have that mindset. Whereas with the younger generations, you hit it on the head earlier. It's what's now popular, what's trendy. Right. And you also see the resale value of these things on the gray market. There's the whales trading. And as far as I'm concerned, whales trading destroyed craft beer.
Yeah.
It destroyed trading. That's why I always got into biffs. Did you ever do a biff, a beer at Ford?
No.
Oh,
I've done it. Yeah, I've done it. Yeah.
Oh, beer at Fords were wonderful, where you'd get they'd set the number of people, they'd set either a dollar limit or an ounce limit. And then they'd set whatever you had to put into as swag, either be a hat, a glass, or whatever, or it was open. And the thing about a beer at Ford is you never wanted to go first, because what would happen is you'd
one up the last one.
So when
you want to go last in a beer,
you'd be assigned someone to send to,
right.
And you'd send to them. They would then open their box, show what they got, and then they would be assigned a person. They'd send it, and everyone tried to one up the next person. So by the time it got to the last person, I remember one time, just to mess with people on a beer at Ford, my extra beer that I threw in was a Cantillon and just blew the whole thing up.
Well, here's the thing too, because with beer at Forward, right? If you did it the right way, there was a circle, right? It looped around, and whoever sent the first beer got the last beer.
Yep,
you wanted to be the first one to go.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was great, and it was in response to whales trading, because the whole point of it was the person who ran it would either be 10 to 12 people, usually about 10.
Yep.
And you had to be careful. You had to really work it, massage it so that this guy was in a different market than this guy. So you send the beer there. Then the gal next was in another market.
Right.
And so what you were doing is you weren't sending whales. You were sending the whole point was sending beer from your region.
Right.
Right. So, Tom would be sending Banter and Springfield. Johnny and I would be sending Kane and Carton and Source and other breweries. John, the brewery that you mentioned earlier from Georgia, that's what you'd be sending, because we can't get it here. And that was the original point of beer trading.
Right.
You can't get this beer, I can. You can't get this beer, okay, I'll swap you. And then it became whales trading, that ISO and FT. ISO FT makes me sick, because that was whales trading, and I think it ruined craft beer.
I agree. John Stepakura commented, an Anchor Christmas years for old time's sake.
Oh,
Yes.
There we go.
Yes,
we did all just
we finished ours.
We did. We had them before.
We started with those, and absolutely, and hopefully, John, I really, really hope you're wrong that it's not for old time's sake.
Yeah, hopefully
we'll be drinking in the future.
Exactly.
Yeah, this last iteration was the 48th, and I was really looking forward to drinking the 50th.
I want to drink 50. I want to drink 50.
Yep.
I want to drink 50.
Yeah.
I want
to 50 of them? I think you'd be dead if you drank 50.
But you'd have fun trying.
I will try, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
So
and if you don't die, you're if
do
you
do not.
Right. Exactly.
Thanks, Yoda.
Exactly.
And John,
Yoda.
if you don't die trying, you're gonna wake up with penises drawn on your face.
Oh yeah. Well, that's never mind. Anyway, I've opened
John calls that a Saturday.
It's a Saturday, right? I've opened my third. This right here. Avery
Oh,
Brewing
that's
Old Jubilation.
And the
One
thing
of,
is,
one of my favorite styles right there in English Old Ale. One of my
and here's the thing,
there you go.
it's Avery, and it's only 8.3. So for
only
Avery,
8.3. So that's a session.
that's
I've got one of those.
Avery.
I haven't drunk one of those yet for Christmas in July, but it is a great one. That and the hibernate.
That's a
Look
pretty
at, look at the color on that Old Ale. It's such.
Oh,
it's
that's
such a
I've
solid
gone
one.
with another pink beer, so I kind of put it in my Bolero Snort can glass. They have from it Frosted Frog Christmas sale from Hoffman Frog.
Dave, are you going through your Barbie phase?
No,
He's a Barbie girl in a Barbie world.
Another pink.
It's fantastic. He's made of plastic.
yes. You gonna keep going on that? Can you do the whole
I'm
song?
done. That's it. I'm good there.
John, you were talking earlier about
He's doing Aqua. My God, the fact that I know who did
You
that.
know how
song
many
is-
times I've heard that song in the last 3 weeks because of this damn movie?
and you're going to
okay?
keep hearing it.
Go see Oppenheimer. A friend of Jonathan's and I is in that movie.
Yes,
You
yes.
were talking earlier about some other great Christmas beers that we remember, and
Mm-hmm.
I got one of them that I really love is that I haven't had in a long time because I can't get it here is Gritty McDuff's Christmas.
Oh,
Ale.
Gritty McDuff's Christmas.
Oh,
Yes.
And I have fond memories of drinking it at the bar, bringing home 750s. But the wonderful thing about Gritty's, so it was a Ringwood brewed Scottish ale.
Mm-hmm.
And Gritty's had this tendency to celebrate every holiday with a Ringwood brewed Scottish ale. At Halloween, they had the Boo.
Which was a Ringwood brewed Scottish ale.
Was a Ringwood brewed Scottish ale.
Right.
4th of July, they had a Ringwood brewed Scottish
Scottish
ale.
ale, right.
Any holiday you can think of, they would celebrate it. Oh, it's National Cheese Day. Let's brew a Ringwood brewed Scottish ale.
ale, right? Yeah.
You know, she'll talk like a pirate day.
Well, you know what? It's funny you say that though, because Dave and I, I think Dave, you had it too. We've had him on the show. Joe David, he owns the Old Ship Inn, which is now Descendants Brewing, but it's still the Old Ship Inn. It's a brew pub. It's the oldest brew pub in New Jersey, and he has a Ringwood system, and he brews a Scottish ale. So we've essentially had, that beer recently.
There you go.
Yeah,
You have year-round access to it.
exactly.
So, John, we've got another comment. Read
Yeah,
it
we
if
do.
you-
Let me throw this
read-
up.
Read it if you can.
I will put it up. Doug Smith comments: a fresh Great Lakes Christmas ale hauled back from Rhode Island, from the brewery in Cleveland for John and I to drink in the early '90s. A pin of Emerald Isle Holiday Ale brought to John's house
Okay.
by the brewer. Ghosts of Christmas beers past, fond memories.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
In fact, he means a pony. We got a pony keg from
That's.
that.
I was wondering what he meant by that.
No.
Yeah, from the. I think he tried the autocorrect must have changed it from
Yeah,
pony
I
to
think-
pin, but that was we stayed up all night listening to Christmas music, blasting. I think my brother was downstairs.
Oh, you
blasting
delinquents.
Yeah, and we were doing the classics and just drinking that beer all night long. It was a great Christmas Eve. That Christmas sucked, but we had a great time with drinking
man.
that. I can't believe I didn't remember that Emerald Isle Holiday Ale because he's right. That was amazing. And the brewery was like 2 miles from my house, so they specialized in cask ale, and they were ahead of their time, I think. And it was tough. They sold in New York and New Jersey and in Rhode Island and Mass, but tough to stay alive just for that small niche market in a niche market. So
Yeah. In a very, very small state.
in a very small state.
In a very small state. Yeah.
I mean, literally, I don't want to say it's too small, but if I stepped out my back door, I was in Massachusetts. If I stepped out my front, I was in Connecticut. So, this is not a big state. So.
Small state.
Yeah, it's a small state.
But you know what? I love that state. I love the state of Rhode Island.
And you know what I love? This beer is fantastic. This
Yes,
really,
it is.
this Avery Old Jubilation is such a good beer, and just an English style old ale is amazing too. And Matt told me the other day, he said, we were talking about beers we're brewing. We were talking about some stuff. We were having a meeting at the brewery, and Matt said, and I'll say this because both my daughters are getting married in a couple of years, but soon anyway, I should say. But my one daughter, it's said like she's engaged, right? Matt said to me, he says, I said, when are we going to brew an old ale? He says, not yet. He says, when she announces that she's pregnant, I'm going to brew an old ale and call it Grandpa and put your face on it.
So have you guys brewed a holiday ale, or what are your plans to plans to brew one, or
Oh no, we have plans to brew several holiday ales. Yeah, we'll
What
have
style?
a
What do
few.
you
No,
look at?
I mean, I want to brew. Well, we'll definitely do a winter warmer. I want to do an old ale. I don't necessarily want to do it for the holidays. We'll do it around the holidays and for the winter and everything.
For the
else.
winter,
But-
yeah.
right. But the holiday ale will be a winter warmer,
like a classic winter warmer, or one
like a
that's
classic
light?
winter warmer. And I'm sure we're gonna do but it'll be I'm sure it'll have a Belgian twist to it since Matt will be brewing it.
Yeah,
and,
of course.
But
So-
it'll probably be, similar to Nice Schoof, which I'm not
Okay.
upset at.
No,
you know,
how could you be mad at
that
that?
or Scaldis Noel. Scaldis Noel is an amazing beer.
That's
too,
a great beer.
So,
What was the first one you said?
Nice Schoof.
Gesundheit.
Thank you.
There you go. So,
All
Tom,
right, number
These
3,
shoot-
I'm going to do the
Right.
2020 Materfamilias. This is
another one of your favorite
barrel-aged
beers.
Not a
Imperial
familiar.
California
You love that.
Mother.
You love that beer. There you go. Awesome.
See how he does.
All right.
God, I forgot how good Frosted Frog is.
Frosted Frog's a good beer. Frosted Frog's a very good.
They
Damn
do another.
good.
What's the other one that's almost like a semi-Clausen style? They do another. I can't think of the name of it.
Who?
Hop and Frog.
Semi-Claus.
They do a.
I'm not sure which one you're talking about. I'm lost on that one.
I will find out from my website. Let's see.
Sammy Claus is a great beer. I actually have a couple bottles of Sammy Claus that I thought briefly about having one on the show tonight, but with these, I'm like, maybe not.
This particular version was aged in bourbon, rye, brandy, and rum barrels.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Very nice. Very nice.
Daddy, is that Froggy Seventh Heaven, John?
No, it is.
Oh, damn.
Why
Then
can
I
I not
have-
think of the name of it?
That I have no idea. They make a lot of strong beers, I'll tell you
They
that.
do. I think I've only had it once, and it was really, really, really good.
Yeah, I did mention this one is 11%.
Wow.
11. Nice.
One of my
Klaus.
Froggy Klaus. That
Yeah.
makes
Froggy
sense.
Klaus. That's right.
Oh,
That's right.
yeah.
Froggy Klaus.
That makes
Yep.
a lot of sense. This is coming off.
Oh, come on. Is it that
That's
hot?
no, it was coming off my head by itself. I would love to see them do a takeoff of Out of Kilter
Okay.
and gangster it up a little bit, called Straight Out of Kilter.
Straight out of kilter. There you go.
Do something like, I don't know who they could collab with to do that, but there's got to be. Well, there's. Oh, and Rhode Island Brewer's got to do a Straight Out of Little Compton, right, John?
Yeah. Straight
I've
out of
never
the-
had it, but that sounds right.
Little Compton's one of those places in Rhode Island that people that from Rhode Island don't tell anybody else about because they don't want to spoil the place.
Yeah.
Straight out
So-
of Little Compton, man.
So Little Compton, no one heard me say that.
Yeah, man.
Don't
Straight
ever, don't ever go
you,
there.
you didn't mean that.
Don't
You
go
didn't mean
there.
that. You meant straight out of Kingston. That's what
There you go.
Straight out of Kingston. There you
Kingston.
go.
Straight out of the CF.
yeah.
It's
yeah,
more
yeah.
like it.
All right, I got a question. I got another one. Here we go. How many Christmas ales, holiday ales, winter beers? All right, and this is mainly for John, but it's for all of us. How many Christmas, holiday, winter beers do on average total do you usually buy every year on a regular basis?
Oh, gosh, wow.
2 cases, 3 cases, 8
Oh,
cases.
more than that. That's how I do Christmas in July. It's
1, 2.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, I
I-
would say probably 4 cases.
4.
yeah. I probably end up with about 6 or 7 cases, and it is a because the perennial favorites I always buy by the 6-pack. That's the Harpoon Winter Warmer, the Anchor Special Ale, the Brooklyn
Right.
Sweetwater Festive Ale locally, the Jekyll Redneck, but then tons of singles and a couple of them. Usually a
Yeah.
couple of them. I buy them online. Ones I can't get here. A lot of them
Right.
I get
See,
from
I
Half
always,
Time and
buy,
Craft
I
Shop.
always buy 2 cases of the Zari Night. I always buy 2 cases of the Materfamilias. So, and then they do their they always do their cellar sale right about Black Friday. So then I buy those. So
Buy those too.
Probably maybe
Yeah.
if I add those in, because most of them are bombers. we might be looking at 5 or 6, but I'm still nowhere in John's neck of the woods.
No. Here we go.
I
Dave?
don't even touch that. I'd be lucky if it was one case.
Well,
I don't drink a lot because to me, winter, I'm buying imp stouts. I'm buying old ales and barley wines. If they want to package it as a winter beer or a Christmas beer, that's fine.
Winter beer. I mean, these are
Right.
Christmas. I think you got to call
Yeah, that's fair.
Well,
Winter
well,
season-
it's not just. See, the question wasn't just Christmas ales, right? Christmas, holiday beers, winter beers. So beers that are for the season from mid to late October for release, all the way through February.
I think you got to be talking about any barrel aged barley wines, anything like that.
Barrel aged barley wines is a winter beer, as far as I'm concerned. I'm going to drink. I'm going to drink one in August, but
But that's for me, it's cumulative because there's only one beer I buy by the case. John knows that.
Mhm.
Everything else, because I don't have that large of a fridge.
On the water, and it has a bow and a stern and a port and a starboard.
That's the other thing I buy by the case.
Okay.
Other than that, I mean, I don't have a
Boat,
very large,
for those of you that don't know what I'm talking
yes. I don't have a very large beer fridge, so I've only got so much room in there, and I don't know what I'm going to, want from day to day. I'm going to quoting that the South African girl from Die Hard here, but that's a deep cut. When
a deep cut. South African girl from Die Hard.
Yeah, he knows what I'm talking about. Where
The supermarket.
there, Tom's got me.
Hey
Yeah.
man, I've got all the movies, man.
He just watched it as a matter of fact.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah, it took me a second. I'm like, oh, right. Yes, there you go.
It's like you come here every day. Well, I don't know what my taste is from day to day, right? Something along those lines. But it's the same thing. It's like I like to have.
Oh, it's not Die Hard. That's not Die Hard. That's Lethal.
Oh, it's not Lethal Weapon. Lethal Weapon.
It's Lethal Weapon 2,
to
be exact.
It is 2.
Shop one day at a time.
That's the first one with.
Hey, lady, let go of my basket.
Hey, fuck you at the drive-in.
Hey, fuck you at the drive-in.
So that's the first one with him, as a matter of fact. But at any rate, but I digress.
You think I'm funny? Funny how? Funny like I sound?
Wrong movie. Same guy, wrong movie.
I just watched Donnie Brasco the other night, so.
I've never seen that movie. I got to watch that.
Yeah. Well, actually, I watched. Well, I mean, he wasn't in it, but I watched Donnie Brasco the other night. But I watched it after. I watched it after. I watched The Irishman the night before, so that's what that is.
So what I was saying, I don't have a lot of room in the beer fridge, but I like to have a different selection. So I don't buy by the case because I don't want it sitting out.
But beers like this, you don't need in the fridge. And we don't put it.
Yeah, that's true.
Properly, you can. Yeah, they can sit.
Yeah.
But I also,
And I don't think you meant buying an individual beer by the case, right, John? You meant like how many cases in aggregate?
In an aggregate, aggregate.
Of all the holiday beers do you buy? And
right, if you buy 4 6-packs, you bought 1 case. If you buy 8 6-packs, you bought 2 cases.
Does epitome count?
Of course.
Okay,
So winter beer.
Then we're looking for
buying season
looking at 4
start in
cases.
like August.
Right. So it's like I might get 1 case. We threw epitome in there, 4 cases. Done. I thought about this when I put the question on the thing. I thought about this for a while. I'm probably about 6 cases. I'm probably about 6 cases.
3 of them were Celebration. Maybe 4.
Oh yeah, I forgot that Celebration. I always buy 1 case of Celebration. Okay, my case counts.
2 plus a Celebration. 2 plus a Celebration. I'm
And
probably
so are
about
you guys like
maybe seven over. It's at least 6. It's 6 and a half.
4, 5.
Yeah.
I probably do 7 then. Yeah.
So do you slow down in January and February?
Hell no.
Well, I mean, most of my winter beers I'm going to buy when they're getting first released between the end of October and December, right? So I'm really not buying any beer in January or February for that matter. I might, if there's something else that gets released that's winter-esque or whatever, I may pick
I go looking for
4-pack or
Bigfoot in
4 packs or
January.
6-pack. But what?
I go looking for Bigfoot in January, but
Bigfoot.
But other than that,
January,
that starts my slow beer buying season because I start August and September are pumpkin beers and especially Oktoberfest beers, right?
Sure.
I go to Helen for Oktoberfest, and there's a great German. There's a package store that has.
Do you go in a hand biscuit?
I go in.
I just got it.
I go in later.
Yeah, man. That's the only way to go to hell. It's gotta
Hey, you know what they say? The fact that there is a stairway to heaven and a highway to hell says something about the expected traffic.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I buy a bunch of a couple of cases of German beer up at Alpine package store up in Helen to bring home after I drink a ton of draft beer up there. And so that lasts me about until, actually some of it I carry on quite into the new year, but I don't really buy any more beer until around week before Thanksgiving. I start looking for the holiday beers. And then, of course, Black Friday, go out and do the shopping. And then through the Christmas season, and then, that's where I accumulate all those holiday beers. And then I kind of slow down into the new year. Other than the Bigfoot, I'm not really looking for a lot. So
Right. Yeah, I'm doing the same thing. I start in August, I'll buy some pumpkins. I'll buy some, I'll buy pumpkins in August of the ones I know that I'm not going to get in September.
Yeah.
Or October.
The only reason
gone.
The only reason I buy any pumpkin beers is John forced me to do a pumpkin show every year.
Yeah, and Tom usually comes on for it.
So
this year we're gonna have John on for it.
I'm
okay?
I'm looking for singles. I'm looking for singles.
There you go. But no, I don't buy a lot. Jess loves pumpkin ales. I like pumpkin ales if they're well done. I don't drink a ton of them, but I will drink them. But I do buy them, and I will buy them. Like I said, if any ones that I'm not going to be able to get in September, I'm getting in August. But I will not drink one until September. I will not drink one until after Labor Day weekend. There's always said that, and I will never do it.
I like, and that's about it.
Yeah. And they're my three top favorites too. So
yeah, it's Warlock, King, and Schlafly, and that's it.
Schlafly. And Weyerbacher Imperial Pumpkin is very good too.
Yeah, when you get your hands on it.
When you can get your hands on it, and also Stevens Point Whole Hog Pumpkin is pretty damn tasty.
It's one of the better ones. Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty damn tasty too. But anyway, but I'm also buying a ton of Doppelbocks and Weizenbachs and Dunkels and Doppels. And a lot of
you're speaking a foreign alien language. Doppels and Dunkels and
Doppels and Dunkels. Oh my! Right.
The Doppel, baby.
Exactly. And then I'm and I'm buying any fall beers, any fall beers that, and even some that I'll be honest with you, there not Avery, Abita. They haven't. They don't do it all the time. Not Turbo Dog now.
I love Turbo Dog.
Turbo Dog's a great beer, but they have a Pecan Harvest.
Oh, that's a great beer.
That's a great beer.
That is a great beer. Now, speaking of autumn beers, when we're done, hopefully saving Anchor, there's something else we need to revive.
What's that?
Sierra Nevada's Tumbler.
Tumbler was an amazing beer.
Why did they stop brewing this beer? That was such a great beer. One of my favorite beers. Look forward to it every autumn. Mm-hmm. And they just inexplicably stopped making. I have a shirt that says Tumbler. I've got the Tumbler shirt.
I know.
I love that beer so much. I bought the shirt.
And you know what else that really I'm disappointed with, and I'll never drink it again, is Breckenridge before the sellout. Okay, they brewed Autumn Ale. Was a fantastic beer.
I'm sorry, I just completely distracted by Tom shooting some raid at something.
Flies over
here. You mentioned the Sierra Nevada, the Retro 12 pack that I just bought a couple of weeks ago has the Ruthless Rye.
Ruthless Rye.
That's a
they re-released that. I gotta get a hold of some of that. If
and the flip side, I gotta get it. The flip side,
that's a fantastic beer.
But I didn't think about the Tumbler. That is a great beer.
Tumbler's a great beer, and also, do you remember the first beer camp that was ever done?
Yeah,
beer camp? Okay.
Oh yeah.
Sierra Nevada. I forget who they did the collab with for this one, but they did an alt beer. They did Alt Root. It was called.
It wasn't Ninkasi.
It wasn't Ninkasi. Ninkasi was a milk stout or something like that.
Yeah, I was disappointed in it actually.
Yeah. But I forget who they did the collab with, but the Alt Root, it was an alt beer. You know me and alt beers.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But it was fantastic.
It's because of your
it was the only time they ever did the damn beer, and I'm like, just brew it.
It's all because of your love of Brian.
Right, yeah, of course.
Brian Alton.
Right on. Yeah.
No, Tumbler to me tasted like fallen.
Tasted like a man.
Fallen leaves. It tasted like fallen leaves. It was
Tasted like.
tasted like.
You're not making us that appealing.
No.
But in the nostalgia of when you're a kid jumping into the pile.
raking leaves and jumping into a
No,
pile
not
of
raking
autumn
them because
leaves.
raking them sucked.
Well, if you were raking them to jump in them, it sucked less.
No, if someone else was raking them for you to jump in them,
that was better, of
that
course.
was the best.
But if you were raking them specifically to jump into them, then it was okay.
Tumbler tasted like someone had raked a whole bunch of leaves so that you could jump into them. It was that good.
There you go.
No, that beer to me, that beer was autumn. And I just anybody talks about an autumn beer, I'm like, you don't know an autumn beer because if you've never had Tumbler, you don't know an autumn beer.
You know the beer. Yeah.
That was
a fantastic beer.
And I would love if they ever brought that back. I'd be so happy if they did that.
You and me both, sir. You and me both.
That I might buy a case of.
Yeah, I hope that actually does happen. And we talked about this, and we're kind of coming for a full circle here, right? Sierra Nevada is one of the OGs, right? Yeah. As is. I can't say was. I don't want to say was. As is Anchor and so forth and so on, right?
It ain't over until
it's over. It ain't over till it's over. Yogi, right? And you know what? Nobody goes there anymore. It's too crowded.
Yeah, and next time, and when you come to a fork in the road, take it.
Right, exactly.
Well, I just looked up the alt route on my website, my review of it, and it was with Victory.
Victory. That's it. That was Victory.
Nice.
They did it with Victory. Yep. That was an amazing beer. And you know what? I should have remembered that because Pat Reed. Shout out to Pat Reed, the regional main manager, sales manager, whatever for Victory. I've known him for many years. He was still trying to figure out how to get him on the show, and he's just too busy. He's the one who actually gave me the beer, so I should have remembered.
Yeah.
Well, I've got my next beer, and I've got it in a little Sam Adams triple bock glass.
Oh, nice.
Hey, John, when are we opening our triple?
We got it. We got to do that soon.
This is what we should do. If Doug can get John and Tom and himself to the brewery opening,
we'll open them then.
That's when we should open them.
That's when we'll open them.
Triple box?
Yep.
Yeah.
We've got John and I bought into 2 triple box.
Mm-hmm.
What years?
94. Yeah, 94, both 94, I think. Or 94, 96.
I think it was 94 and 96.
Might be 94, 96, yeah.
So what are you drinking out of your double?
It is not a Sam Adams triple bock, but it is a triple bock, so to speak. It's a semi-class.
Nice.
Oh, there we go. So what's the ABV on that? Like 37?
14.
Yeah,
close enough.
I have a 750 of it, but I'm waiting until
you want to wake up before noon tomorrow.
Yeah,
right. I took the day off, but
I would like to have some of it to do something with.
Yeah.
I'll say
you
that
want to wake up before it's getting dark.
When my son-in-law is here, and we'll split it, and then he can suffer too. So
nice.
Oh my God.
The next
one. I just poured my fourth. I am drinking to round out the show, if you will. Korsendonk. I went Belgian right there.
You went Trappist.
I went Trappist. Right
I went Abbey.
You went Abbey. St. Bernie.
Oh yeah. Hey, we got the same hat.
And by the way, you do. And by the way, this is the first appearance on this show for this particular Tiku, because I just acquired it.
Oh, very nice. Did one of the schleps bring it back for you?
No. I acquired it another way.
We have 3 of our friends went. Three of our friends went up to Portland and stopped the treehouse on the way up.
Right.
Oh my God.
And they survived the trip, surprisingly.
They did. St. Bernardus is amazing, and I'll be honest with you, and I'll throw this in there because this has to do with St. Bernardus, but it doesn't have to do with necessarily do with winter ales, but certainly not Christmas or holiday ales. But everybody talk about, bless you, talk about West Letteren.
Yeah,
you talk about West Letteren, 8, 10, 12, whatever West Letteren, an amazing beer. I've had West Letteren. I love the beer.
Oh, same. However,
St. Bernardus
12
is better than West Flatiron.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
West Flatiron, the whole hype about the whole hype.
It's because you can't get it, right?
You can't get
You can go to ShopRite Liquors and get St. Bernardus 12.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why it's highly touted. It's better than what? No, pardon my French. No disrespect to West Flatiron. It's an amazing beer. St. Bernardus is better.
I'm sorry, I like Trappist Rochefort better.
Between those two, I'm saying Trappist
Okay.
Rochefort is amazing as well. Trappist Rochefort. I've had a 10 and a 12 on the show.
Rochefort is my favorite Trappist ale.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a buddy who's
And they make a nice cheese.
They do. We got to. You know what we got to do? We talked about wine and cheese. Today's National Wine and Cheese Day. We got to do a Trappist and cheese day on the show.
Chimay and Chimay. There you go.
Oh, Chimay once did a beer and cheese pairing with their wine, with their beers and their cheeses at Cloverleaf Tavern.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Bobo.
I've got a buddy who his father-in-law has some kind of connection with West Flatiron, and he is constantly. He's got if he checked them all in on Untapped, he would be probably the highest drinker of everybody. But he's constantly putting up pictures of them, and everybody's like, "You son of a bitch!" And I finally got to try the damn thing earlier this year. I paid $75 from Craft Shack to get one bottle of the 12. Right?
You were ripped off.
I'm sure I was, but I've never seen it, and I got a nice bonus at work this year, and I said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna get the damn thing, and I'm gonna try it." Right? But I'll tell you what. To John's point, he has it all the time, so he has ready access to it, and he does regular side by sides with St. Bernardus Abbott 12. And he says they are of equal quality. So, you know,
At least,
yeah, I think a lot of it has. And I'll tell you what, I can get St. Bernardus in 11.2 ounce bottles and 750s.
Sure.
I get fills at the Growler Shop. I've had it on tap at Taco Mac. You can get it everywhere, and it is an amazing beer, right?
I can get it on tap. I work in New York City. Mm-hmm. There are Belgian restaurants. I can get it on tap.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And the last time you had it too, I'm like, the next time you go, don't go before you let me know you're going, because I'm going to meet you there.
And I haven't been, but John and I were going to go to this place hoping that this would have been on tap. They never put it on tap. They never got it.
They never got it. No, they didn't. But it's an amazing beer. You're absolutely right. Yeah. And you know what? But that's, you know what? That's a perfect example of the fact that there's a lot of really good beer out there that's not necessarily overhyped, that you just have to realize that this is just as good as anything of the overhyped beers, right? And well, you know, go for them. And try the overhyped, but we're not telling you not to have one of the, let your palate taste the overhyped beer. You know, have at it. But don't forget about the beers that are just equal as good, or if not better, or whatever. That
haven't
are
had
easily
regular
available.
access
to those are going out of their way to get those overhyped beers, or fucking up the curve for the rest of them. I mean, I'm a whiskey guy.
They are.
Buffalo Trace is a $25 bourbon that's selling for $50. Yeah. I mean, if you're paying more than $25 for Buffalo Trace, you're an asshole.
Right.
If you're paying more than $50 for Blanton's, you're an idiot.
Right.
It's a $50 bourbon, and the same thing is happening in the beer world.
Yeah.
Buy it at face value. There are others just as good as Buffalo Trace's Larceny.
But I think it's worth it.
Larceny's amazing bourbon, and it's at a lower price point too.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think it's worth it. I don't regret paying what I did for that one bottle. Would I go back?
No, you did it. You did it because you did it, and that was one time, and you did what you did. That's fine. There's no regrets there. But would you do it again?
I would not buy it again at that price, because I know that I can go get the St. Bernardus, and it's as good as beer.
Exactly. A friend of mine actually was over in, we all know how hard it is to get West Flatiron, right? A friend of mine's over in Amsterdam, and he calls me from Amsterdam. He says, "Do you want a couple bottles of West Flatiron 12?" I'm like, "Yeah." Is there a reason you're even calling me to ask me that question? So he brings 2 bottles of West Flatiron 12 home with him, right? When he comes over 2 weeks later, he hands me 1 bottle. I'm like, "I thought you said 2 bottles." He said he was drinking one night and he ran out and he wanted another. He lives in the city, right? And he wanted another drink before bed. and he had nothing else in the house. So he literally got dressed and left, and went to the bodega at the corner of his block, and they were just closing. So the only thing he could do was drink one of my bottles of West Veteran that he brought home for me. So I'm like, at that point, you've had so much alcohol, you didn't appreciate it. I mean, I don't care because he paid for them for me, right?
Yeah.
That's like, that's a good beer. Why are you wasting that beer when literally Sam Adams Boston Lager would have solved the nightcap, right?
John,
Yeah.
not you, John, the other John. You're bleeding.
Oh, your head's bleeding. Oh my
Oh,
god.
thank you. I
Might
cut
wanna take care
myself
of
earlier, shaving.
Yeah, we saw the Band-Aid earlier,
Yeah.
but
John, the quality of that would be like popping Dom Perignon when you had an Andre in the fridge.
Yeah.
Right,
think the alcohol-
right, exactly.
Dom Perignon, yeah.
The alcohol content of the semi-claus is so much it's thinned my blood and it started. So I must go and I shall be back.
It's popping out the top of your head, man.
I got to say this while John's, I'll say it while he's on there, but I love the, what do they call it? The fathead of the,
the Brady back there.
Tom Brady in the background.
And then he's got Sam Adams next to him, doesn't he?
That's
Sam Adams standing next to him.
Yep, it's Sam Adams standing next to him.
And then he's got the Enterprise.
And he's got the Enterprise, of course.
That'd be the Enterprise D.
Right.
Yes, I'm not a nerd.
Fucking nerds.
I mean, hello. we all resemble that remark. So,
Oh yeah.
Exactly. This is amazing though. This beer, I love Corson Dawn Christmas. Yeah. It is an amazing beer. I love drinking it. I love every bit of it. I just enjoy it so much. And
oh mercy.
And you know what, John? This does not suck.
There's zero suck in that beer right there.
This beer has no suckage.
None at all.
No suckage. Zero suckage.
Zero suckage. All right.
I want to warm it up a little bit.
Zero suck in that beer.
But still, such a
So
good
what
beer.
do you guys got going on? Who's next week? Who's your guest next week?
Next week is
What's
Tony
the show?
Drury. Tony Drury from Far West Texas, Terlingua, Texas.
nice.
Tony's been on the show before, but he's actually going to be broadcasting the show. He's going to be in Vancouver, so it's going to be
cool.
Texas in Vancouver. Is
and he's going to be dressed all in white with gold trim.
Yeah,
Have you been seeing those posts of his?
Yeah, I saw them. Yeah, they're great. They're great. Yeah.
I don't know how he's doing this,
Yeah.
but he's turning himself and his friends into ivory statues with gold trim.
Right.
It's really quite spectacular. It's obviously some sort of program.
Well, if you guys happen to have time, I'm doing an odd Wednesday show tomorrow where I've got my first comedian on the show.
Okay.
Really?
I've had beer and whiskey guys. I've had musicians. I've even had a heavyweight, a top-ranked heavyweight contender, but I've never had a comedian on the show.
Nice,
So I'm going to
very
have a
nice.
comedian tomorrow.
Funny enough, we're having comedians on the show the end of next month.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah, we are actually.
Yeah,
Oddly
we are.
enough. Yeah.
But my first working comedian, I should say. The first one.
Yeah, to say because we're all friend
My first
comedians.
day-
I mean, we're all comedians. I mean, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you think you're funny? What do you think?
Think
You're
you're
funny? Fucking comedian?
Well, I'm
Yeah.
sure you guys have had a lot of
I'm
people on
hilarious,
this show, but nobody's probably bled to be on your show before.
No, you know what? You're the first. You are
Yeah.
the first. There you go. So, anyway, all right.
Well,
Hey,
from your
you know what?
head, anyway.
You know what? It's time for the top three list. What do you think?
Time for the
Oh, you didn't
when
give me a
John
heads
says
up
it's
on
time for the top
three.
three
I didn't have
list.
time to prepare.
What was on the show? It was on the post. I thought you saw it. You're right. I
When-
didn't tell either of you. But you know
Oh,
what?
I
Putting you on the
got-
spot
I
sometimes
got to read?
is actually right. Putting you on the spot is actually sometimes it's a good thing. So tonight's
When-
top three list is
When John says it's time for the top three list, that means he's hungry.
Oh,
no, not necessarily. I just thought it was.
I
Well,
got you.
John went away to take care of his bleeding head, and I figured the segue was appropriate, apropos, if you will. Top three favorite old school Christmas TV specials. Top three favorite old school Christmas TV specials. I got a feeling there's going to be some crossover.
There'll be a
between the
little
four
bit
of
of
us.
overlap here.
Can
Yeah.
I go
Yeah,
first,
so-
please? Can I go first? Get them off my
You
chest?
can go.
Yeah,
You know what,
go.
Tom? Go for it. Go first.
So, Charlie Brown Christmas special.
Gotcha.
Classic.
The Grinch.
Grinch. There you
Beautiful.
go.
The third one I'm going to throw you off a little bit is The Year Without a Santa Claus.
Yes. Very
Those are my
good.
top three.
Very nice.
So well, Johnny types that into our database. Bruguru, what are your three?
Well, the first one, if this one would be eligible, is 1984's A Christmas Carol with George C. Scott.
That was a great one.
It's to me, it's the best version.
I agree.
That is my favorite book of all time. I read it every Christmas. And
who are you, Patrick Stewart? Oh yeah, well you're
that was a good one too.
Yeah,
that actually had some good moments to it, but the George C. Scott is just, and the cast is like, you got David Warner as Bob Cratchit, you've got Susanna York as his wife, and Edward Woodward as the ghost of Christmas Past. It's like, come on, are you going to do better than that?
Well, what about Michael Caine with the Muppets?
Well, that's good too.
That was a good one.
And then after that, I guess I would say number 2 is The Grinch, as Tom said, and then Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is number 3.
How
And
do you
Rudolph-
not mention Charlie Brown? That is the best of all time. Charlie Brown.
That's number 4 for me.
But
Oh, come on.
the thing about Rudolph is, if you remember, so here's the thing that the kids will never get today is that when we were kids,
Mhm.
you had to be in front of the TV on a certain
When
date
it
at a
came
certain
on.
time.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you missed it, and you had to wait a whole another year for it.
Yep.
Okay. At one point, I had done a CD compilation of Christmas songs, and one was called "When the Specials Were Special."
Right.
You had to be there, and if you remember, there was that thing on CBS where the word "special" spiraled and went.
Yeah.
It was like the bongo music.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And when you heard that, you knew, sit your ass down, and now you're going to see something. And Rudolph was always the first. Rudolph kicked off the Christmas holiday special season. That said, Rudolph's actually not on my list.
How
Number
about
number
number 3?
two of them Tom has taken already.
Mhm.
The Grinch.
All 3 of mine are taken already. Actually, no, 2 of them are taken already.
The Grinch.
Mhm.
I mean, and the whole thing about the Grinch is, if the Grinch really wanted to stop Christmas, the Who's told them how to do it.
Right.
Christmas is here. Christmas is in our grasp as long as we have hands to clasp. All he had to do was cut off their fucking hands, and
Yeah,
he could have
that
stopped.
would have been a little too gruesome for 1965. Okay.
Wow.
So
You're
Tim,
channeling the slasher Winnie the Pooh that just came out.
no, you need Tim Burton to redo.
Right.
Just cut their hands off, and the end. It's over.
No.
But the Grinch, that's number 3 for me. Number 2 for me, and this is the one that hasn't been mentioned yet, was Santa Claus is Coming to Town.
Mhm.
Right? Put one foot in front of the other. That I love the whole story behind that. Meister Burger, because back in those days we were still villainizing Germans, not Russians. They were the bad guys, not the Russians. So you had Meister Burger.
But they made good beer.
Oh God, still make good beer.
And it was kind of the prequel to Tom's Year Without a Santa Claus, right?
There you go. Yes,
And that's mine.
It was.
It was.
Very good. Yeah.
That's my number 1 is Year Without a Santa Claus.
I didn't think anybody else would mention that one but me. Yeah.
No. I loved Year Without a Santa Claus.
I
I
love
look
that
forward
one,
to
too.
that one every year. There was some, and it's what I loved about that particular one, and I'm going to get a little maudlin here, is that whole concept. And John's wearing the shirt. Believe, and it was all about belief in Santa Claus. Do you actually believe in Santa Claus? You too old to believe in Santa Claus? And there's that song, I believe in Santa Claus.
I'm wearing a Santa surfing.
Yeah, because Santa surfs. Once
In
Christmas is over.
July.
When Christmas is over, right? But that was the whole point about it, is actually believing in Santa Claus. And are you too old to believe? And you go through, there's science, there's faith. I'm not going to call it religion, I'm going to call it faith for this case. Do you have faith that Santa Claus exists? As a physical being, that's up to you. As a concept, if you don't, you've lost something.
Yep, I agree. Yeah.
You've really, if you don't believe in
And
him as a
that's
concept.
what that movie was about, though, too.
Yeah.
All the reasons they gave for believing in Santa Claus were just being a decent human being.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Well, there was that, and then of course for me, in Year Without a Santa Claus in the 7th grade, I had this crush on a girl that wrote a paper about it, and suddenly Heat Miser and Snow Miser were I was all about those things.
Let me guess.
Oh,
Nothing like hormones to really.
Oh yeah, that was
So, John, did we leave you any?
No, not at all. No, I actually got a couple. Actually, I'll give you my honorable mention. I'm going to give an honorable mention because it's not, claymation or a cartoon or anything like that we've talked about or whatever.
I know what it is already.
What is it?
It's.
See if you got it right.
Hold on. It's March of the Wooden Soldiers.
Ooh, good one. Good one.
But not it.
March of the Wooden Soldiers for me is Thanksgiving.
okay, gotcha.
Okay.
It's Thanksgiving because it always would be on in the morning of Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Okay. Which we call Stan Laurel and Oliver Hardy.
Yes.
They'd be on in the morning, and you'd have to A/B it, right? You'd have to go back and forth between
That and the parade.
whatever channel and the parade. You'd have to go back and forth. So March of the Wooden Soldiers for me, while a Christmas, a special, for me it just still screams Thanksgiving for me.
Okay.
So,
Fair enough.
my honorable mention is Bing Crosby's "Merry Old Christmas" in 1977.
Oh, okay.
It's the one where he and David Bowie did the Little Drummer Boy.
Oh, that collaboration was amazing. Yeah.
But I've got the Bing Crosby PTSD. So.
Of course, I know, which is why it's just my honorable mention.
he just triggered you. Yeah.
Oh, man.
He's triggered. Right.
Malcolm, fuck you.
Anyway.
He meant to do that.
Exactly. So my top three are, and just my number 3 is the only one that hasn't been mentioned already. My number 3, Frosty the Snowman, 1969.
That would have been an honorable mention for me.
Yep.
And for one reason, because I like to use the one quote from that all the time. Messi, Messi, Messi.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not talking about the soccer player.
Not the soccer player, right? My number 2, Charlie Brown, 1965.
Yep.
Charlie Brown. And my number 1, 1964, and it's been mentioned only once by John, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Rudolph.
Yep.
There you go.
But remember, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Silver and Gold. I mean,
remember, it's a story about
Burl Ives singing Silver and Gold still takes me back 50-something years.
But remember, it's a story about how someone could be a complete douche to you until they need you.
Until they need you.
That's exactly what that
Santa
story
is a
about.
racist bastard who hates red-nosed reindeer.
People will treat you like shit until they want something
Until
from
they
you.
need something from you. Right.
Bingo.
Oh, now you can lead my sleigh now that we're in a snowstorm and nobody can see anything, Rudolph.
All of a sudden, you're not a freak.
Had no use for your red nose before, but okay. But you mentioned March of the Wooden Soldiers too, which is one of my my honorable mentions because it.
Yeah, I would throw that as an honorable mention too.
Yeah, fond memories of watching that with my dad as a kid.
Oh
and, big Laurel and Hardy fan too. So that's a great one. Yeah.
Have you seen
Soldiers?
Have you seen the video yet of Laurel and Hardy dancing to Oye Como Va?
No.
You will never listen to Oye Como Va again.
So Laurel and Hardy, Oye Como Va.
Yeah, you got to. You got to look that up. You will never hear the song the same way again without picturing them dancing to it. It is.
I don't know if I want to watch it.
Did they use the? So there's a famous video of them dancing to "On the Trail of the Whispering Pine." Is that what they used for?
It's the one where they're just kind of like
probably is. Yeah,
they just start bopping a little bit, then their ties start going, and then they start.
That's the one. That's it.
They put that to Oye Como Va, and it is perfect. It'll ruin.
I can watch it. No, I can watch it now because I've seen. You know why? Because I've seen that before. Yeah. So I can. So it's fine. I can watch it. Yeah.
It works. It works.
Friend of mine, we're at a party. We're at a party years and years and years ago. A friend of mine, Oye Como Va comes on, right? And one guy looks at him and says, "Hey Kevin, you know what they're saying?" And he says, "No, I don't speak Italian." I mean, stupid, but it was. I mean, we were laughing all night from his statement. That was great. So.
You bring up Italian. We're talking about Rudolph. Santa, eat.
Mangia.
He was married to an Italian. That was all.
Yeah,
Right.
Mrs.
Dominic,
Claus was Italian. Yeah,
Christmas donkey is what you're. Yeah,
exactly. You're right. Yeah, jingity jing. Right. Anyway, okay.
So can I add one question to this Christmas special?
Throw one question to the Christmas special.
So I
We'll wrap
feel
it
like
up.
this question has to be asked. What's our favorite Christmas song?
I'll be honest with you. I have so many favorite Christmas songs that it's really hard for me to pin one down. But because it's nostalgia and because it's my family and my mother and a lot of that stuff, Dominic the Donkey is my favorite Christmas.
Okay.
I'm surprised that wasn't brought up, or because they did do a special of that one, a Christmas special. For me, yes, there's so many that I absolutely love, and then there's all the parodies and joke ones. Dr. Dirty did a whole.
Sure. Oh yeah.
Oh God, his version of Sleigh Ride is one of the filthiest songs ever written. If you look up John Valby Sleigh Ride, don't blame me. I've warned you already. But to me, the one song that I want to hear every year, and there's so many different versions of it, instrumental or vocal, is Carol of the Bells.
That's a good song.
Carol of the Bells just it makes me tingle. It's always puts a thrill down my spine every time I hear that song.
I have a lot of Christmas music. A lot of Christmas music.
Same here.
And that's a great one. I have a version by Living. I think it's Living Strings and Living Voices from the 60s.
Oh yeah.
Really, really, I love their music. But if I had to name my favorite, it would be March of the Wooden Soldiers and the versions by Boston Pops, both from
Oh
yeah.
Arthur Godfrey days, yeah.
Yeah, so that would probably be my favorite.
Yeah.
And Boston Pops did so many great. Canadian Brass did such justice, and the Mormon Tabernacle Choir.
Oh yeah.
Does versions of Christmas
Mannheim
songs.
Steamroller, yeah.
Oh,
Mannheim Steamroller. Forget about it. Yeah, there's so many from them. Yeah, forget about it.
Well,
right.
for me, even though I hate to use the term contemporary, but the songs that you all mentioned, I'm going to have to say contemporary, even though the song came out in the 60s. It's the band, Christmas Must Be Tonight, for me. That song does.
Oh, nice song. Good song.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah. Dave mentioned John Valby. Did that song?
Oh, here comes the picture.
There's a picture of me and John Valby right there.
There he is. There's Dr. Dirty.
Oh, wow.
Cool.
Dr. Dirty, what a great guy.
But there's and if you're gonna go contemporary, there's Blues Travelers did a song that really just spoke to me about Christmas. I think it's just called Christmas, and he talks about how even if you don't celebrate it as Christmas, it's just Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, December 25th, or solstice.
Whatever it is.
Just stop being a douche to everybody. It's basically the whole point of the song.
Just enjoy. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. I've seen Blues Traveler.
And that song. That's one of my favorite Christmas songs. That whole series of very special Christmases that were done for the Special Olympics, where they got people to come in and do covers of stuff. Sting put out a couple of great songs on there. He did. I saw Three Ships. Oh my God, his version of that. It's a stirring version. Those CDs, tapes.
Records, the talkies.
In that spirit too, I'm a big fan of Michael Crawford from.
Michael Crawford. Yeah,
I saw him live, Phantom of the Opera, and that's the only version of Phantom of the Opera that I can listen to actually. But he did a version.
I saw Phantom of the Opera with Michael Crawford. So
he did a version of Oh Holy Night that is like probably one of my favorite versions of that song too. So.
Actually, one of my favorite versions of "Oh Holy Night" is when Cartman's trying to sing it and they keep stopping him.
Oh, holy night.
And then they shock him that one time, and he goes into this angelic voice, like, "Holy shit, Eric!
You respect my authority."
Anyway, all right. This was great. This was amazing. I loved every minute of this, and we got to. You know what? I'm calling this right now. Our holiday show this year, it's the four of us.
Oh yeah, you guys are coming back.
Done. You're coming.
You
back.
You have no choice.
You have no choice.
We will send ninjas.
We'll figure it out. Well, exactly. So it's either going to be the Tuesday after Thanksgiving or the Tuesday after that. One of those 2 weeks. We'll do the holiday show, and then it'll be the four of us again on it. So, and we'll try to drink different beer for that one.
Well, the one thing for sure,
except for
Anchor, we won't be drinking Anchor,
except for Anchor and this, because I'm gonna have one of them. So.
And I will try to emulate Jesse Ventura from The Predator and say, I ain't got time to bleed.
I ain't got time to bleed. It's amazing. There was two governors. There were two governors in that movie.
Jesse Ventura and
Schwarzenegger.
And Arnold.
Oh, yeah, that's right. California governor, yeah.
If only Clint Eastwood was in there, you would have three.
You got Apollo Creed in there too?
Apollo Creed, hello. Carl Weathers was in it too. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, all right. Any parting shots for Christmas in July?
No, just this Sammy Claus is like amazing, and it is so.
I need to go.
I will have one of my Sammy Clauses that I already have on the show when we.
I may break out the 750. It is that good. So.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm just grateful we didn't move to whiskey.
I know. Yeah, we'll do that on a Tom show in a couple of weeks.
I was ready for it, but
you got that.
There you go.
Have you had this one
over and you got Santa
Claus?
Claus?
I like it. Yeah,
that's a good one. That is a good one. Yeah.
Well,
put out a decoy bear because this is just fantastic.
Well, because when I go to Ireland, I'm priming my Irish whiskey palate.
Oh, there you go.
And I figured this would be a good one to do it with.
Look for this. This stuff is incredible.
Hyde is good.
That's in Ireland, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a single malt Irish. Oh, this stuff is crazy good.
It is, and I'm going to hide my Sammy Claus when
hide. You better hide your Sammy Claus.
Yeah. I will be staying. I stated earlier, 150 yards away from a.
So we're doing the wine and cheese video next.
We'll do the wine and cheese video. Yeah. Well, you know what? We'll do it on Friday night if you want. I'm fine.
No. He meant like after we sign off here.
Oh, I know. Well, obviously we're not doing that. I'm just saying. So. Anyway, all right. Guys,
I got a nice brie in the fridge.
You
and
do.
I got a baguette.
I got some cheese.
I got it. Yeah, exactly.
I've got a couple of bottles of French red.
We can work on that. Yeah, I got a couple of wines downstairs. I got a nice Gewürztraminer downstairs sitting. So I got
a good Norton up there. Oh man.
I've got a well-aged Mad Dog.
There you go. I got some cold duck. And some Boone's Farm. I'm good to go.
Oh, and to stick with the Irish theme, I've got some Irish Rose.
Where's your Mad Dog 2020?
2020, right? Exactly.
Okay, here let's see how old you guys are. What's the word?
Bird.
Johannesburg.
Thunderbird.
Oh, Thunderbird. Yeah.
What's the price?
Twice as nice.
Twice as nice. Yeah.
No, $1 twice.
$1 twice.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Shoof nice.
Yeah, Shoof nice. There you go.
Shoof nice. Yeah. Oh, so you want to ISO Shoof nice FT Thunderbird.
Gesundheit.
All right. Thank you guys for coming on. Anybody that was loving and wants more of the show, just wait. End of November, the week after Thanksgiving, we will continue the show. So,
but please watch all the shows in between here and there.
But please watch all the shows in between. Yeah, exactly.
4 imbeciles and a lot of alcohol.
Exactly.
Emphasis on the imbeciles. Yes.
Wait a second. We started off as lunatics. Now we're imbeciles.
Well, that's okay.
Lunatics just add alcohol.
Lunacils and imbetics. Right, exactly. Anyway, all right. On that note, we will wrap the show for today. We want to thank everybody for watching. And for those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thank you for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.lageroom.com. It's LAGEROM.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course, our YouTube channel. All of them are at The Lager Room. Remember, we go live with a video podcast on both Facebook and YouTube every Tuesday night around 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And for those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Podcast, Amazon Music Podcast, and iHeartRadio as well. There's a reason I say that.
You'll hear later.
You'll find out soon enough. Anyway, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds, and you will never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much for joining our Christmas in July. Merry Christmas in July. John, Tom, thank you both for coming on the show tonight. We really appreciate it.
John, thank you for not
amazing.
bleeding out on the show.
Thank you for not bleeding out on the show. Really
I'm glad I'm
appreciate
not
it.
dead. Yep. Thank you.
I am happy you shaved for the occasion. However, styptic.
That's a
Styptic.
I'm happy that the shaving job was only bleeding from up here.
Right, exactly. Anyway,
I meant his chin. I meant his chin.
Yeah, no, of course. We get it.
And thanks for calling that out, guys, before I died. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, we like.
I got a feeling once it got down to your nose and around, you might have figured it out for yourself. So,
as the famous line goes from Christmas Vacation, I don't want to spend Christmas dead. So,
anyway,
great
all right.
movie.
We look forward to
them's good eatings.
Exactly. Watch every show between now and November, but we will continue the show on the Tuesday after Thanksgiving. Thank you so much for coming on the show. We will talk to you soon. Drink a lot of beer, but drink responsibly, and we will talk to you soon, folks. Enjoy the rest of your summer. We'll see you next Tuesday. Take care, folks. Cheers.
Slancha.
Slancha.
Oh, water. I should probably drink some of this.